start laughing. How y'all doing? Young Activists back here with another show. We on Youdia TV. And, of course, we got our host on.
Well, you did a terrible job.
All three of us are right here.
Y'all supposed to say, okay, y'all want me.
Our host is on. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Hezbollah Press.
Breezy B.
It's your girl, Nadia.
And now, we're going to be going into our subjects today. So, of course, y'all been hearing on the news recently about the Cardi B and the Biden beef. You know what I'm saying? And what's going on with that. So, we're going to have Aubrey get a little bit more detailed into that. And we're going to start expressing our opinions toward that situation.
Yeah, so the Biden video and Cardi B, it's not necessarily beef, but, you know, I just wanted to hear everybody's kind of reactions on it. About the things that Cardi B was saying. For everybody who didn't watch the video, it was basically her and Biden had a sit down over Zoom, and we're talking about his plans for the upcoming election, what he has in store, what kind of Cardi B was asking for. She had a lot of demands, such as free healthcare. She said a lot of stuff about Trump. So if anybody who's watched the video, I kind of want to hear everybody's reactions on that. Anybody has any initial reactions?
Did you watch it, Hassan?
I've seen it, yeah.
Well, what do you feel?
I think it's crazy that we as black people have like entertainers as our leaders. Like, bruh, Cardi B is an ex-stripper turned into a reality TV star, turned into like one of the biggest female rappers on earth.
So she didn't read the books, you know what I'm saying, law books?
But like, what in what other? No, I'm saying that's funny. In what other community
I'm just saying,
do you have ex-strippers turned rappers as leaders? What do they do that in Russia? China? Do they do that in Saudi Arabia? So why do I care what Cardi B has to say about Joe Biden?
I think just because she's a stripper doesn't she's an ex-stripper doesn't invalidate who she is or what knowledge she has. It's always it's the people. It doesn't. I know what you mean. Like, why do black people look at these people as leaders? But in the nation we live in, that's what we got. Like, music is what brought black people to the front. If you know what I mean. Like,
but like, shouldn't there be a problem with that? That we're only valued for entertaining? Like, there's no other nation of people on earth where their leaders are entertainers.
Right.
That's weird. Everybody else is like career politicians, people that are lawyers. And I know like Cardi B, she's like, she has her degree, she's done all that, but like, I don't care what Cardi B got to say about it.
I don't think the black community's looking at Cardi B as like, this is our one, this is our leader. Like,
but that's why Joe Biden rolled her out, because everybody knows that people listen to Cardi B's music, and black people.
Well, Cardi B's also very involved in. She's been speaking up and talking about politics. She comes for Trump. She comes for Candice Owens. She comes for all of these people because she is that. And that's what I like about Cardi is that she's not just somebody who's going to bite their tongue. She's actually been someone who's been saying something about what's going on. And I think that's why he brought her out, because she even said, like, Joe Biden, like, you're a president, like, let's go. Like, you're a presidential candidate. Like, what are you going to offer to the country?
I understand what you're saying, but it's really more like Joe Biden trying to pander to black people after the new black media has called him out on several of his terrible decisions. Like, it's a 96 crime bill, all of his racist statements. The man is literally like, he doesn't say coherent sentences.
Right.
He's on onset dementia.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I definitely agree that Joe Biden does do a lot of pandering, if not, here, black people, vote for me. Mm-hmm. He definitely does do a lot of that. But in this particular case, I don't think that Cardi B was the utmost worst person to talk about politics. She like Nadia said, she has been very involved with politics. She was a very avid Bernie Sanders supporter. And she gave all the time gave very good talking points. So if she isn't involved in politics, somebody around her camp or her team is involved in politics. So I feel like her, basically just having a voice for black people. I hate to say it, but she's just in that position. I'm not, you're not, Elijah's not. We're not in the position to talk to Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not in the position to ask me, hey, you're influential to your own people, right? Because that's what it's all about, is your influence and who you're talking to and how many people that you're bringing in. Yeah, people are going to listen to, what they're doing is bridging that gap between media, and the youth and voting and politics, which I mean, yeah, it's
with Cardi B.
With Cardi B, because who else would you do it with?
Right.
Who else would you do it with? I mean, Kanye West went out on a fucking limb and ran for president.
Oh, you mean another rapper?
I'm talking about bridging a gap between the youth, people that listen to Cardi B, people that partake in entertainment and hip hop and different things like that. They're bridging that gap into politics and making it to where a more easier way to listen to, and instead of just a white man telling you gotta vote for Joe Biden because, or you gotta vote for Donald Trump because, or you gotta
trying to be trendy.
Because to be honest, I'm not gonna fucking listen to the same political ad over and over and over and over and over again.
Right.
And that's just me. So hearing a celebrity's take on it, it might be fucking refreshing. Because to me, I'm thinking Cardi B thinks like a fucking robot. But now she wants free health care? She cares about prison reform? She cares about all this different shit that I would never think Cardi B cares about? Hell yes, I'm interested in that conversation. I don't think it sets black people back any type of years. I think it gives us, I mean, she didn't say anything outrageously ignorant. She didn't say anything to make us look like, oh, this bitch. Like, she didn't do anything
and
like
I think
that.
the biggest thing that people, a lot of people say, like, make her look dumb because of the way she articulates. And that, I guess that, to me, that's, like, not fair. It's kind of like making fun of someone who speaks 2 languages.
No,
you know what I mean? No, but I wasn't saying you were, but that's what, like, a lot of people consider her dumb for, like, they consider her dumb because she can't articulate, like, politically, or, you know what I mean? There's so many people that are like, she didn't even say that word right. It's like, okay, but she's still using her platform for good. Like, I'm not going to be mad at any black artist if they're using their platform to spread, like, the message of, she spread the message of voting. Like, that's important. She spread the message of, like, she's how many people do you know can sit with a presidential candidate and say, this is what I want, this is why I want it, this is how I grew up, this is what I want from you. And she even told him, like, I don't even know if you're the one to do it for us, but this is what I want. And I think that as like, that's better than nothing. And I don't think being an entertainer in the black community and using your platform is wrong. Or I don't, you know what I mean?
I'm not saying it's wrong. I just think as a collective, as black people, we always find ourselves in this situation where our leaders, the people we look up to, because name a black leader outside of the entertainment field or the sports field. Name somebody, please.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is a leader?
Neil deGrasse Tyson, very much so.
So he's
in the science world? Very much so.
In the science world, but I'm talking about leaders politically.
There's a lot of black.
Name them.
What's his name? I
forgot. What's his name?
I forgot his name.
Okay, name your 3 favorite.
Umar Johnson. Dr. Umar Johnson. Like, there's a bunch of black leaders that lead. That maybe not on the way, because you got to think about it though. Entertainment and music is the one thing that everybody can relate to, no matter what. No matter anytime you say anything, we probably heard the exact same song. Whether you're listening to it because you hated it, whether if you just heard it from the grapevine, you have heard the same song. Right. Did we read the same books? Probably not. Exactly. Right. You see what I'm saying? And so when you get pushed to that forefront in a world, not just the black community, in a world that is involved around entertainment, you're going to go with people that are influencing. That's just like the same thing when you're asking Ja Rule, what do you think about 9/11?
I don't give a damn what Ja Rule got to say about 9/11. That's the point.
But it's about the stature and the things that you have done. People do give a damn about what Ja Rule thinks. I mean, people are looking up to that. People are looking up to that.
But the root part is, you look at these entertainers, who put them in that position? Because it's not just hard work. You have label execs, old white people who say, rap this, rap that, do this, do that, and we'll give you a distribution.
You can't always say that.
Why can't you always say that?
Because there's a bunch of independent artists. Chance the Rapper has made how much money? Independent.
So Chance the Rapper is your leader?
No, but you just said there's been how many artists that have needed someone else that's not based on hard work. I'm just telling you that hard work does matter. Go ahead.
I feel like maybe like how you say, why do black people always like kind of look up to like these interesting people as leaders? Why do these people that we kind of look up as leaders get such a bad light for where they come from and how they came up? Because if you think about it, a lot of artists or just a lot of entertainers in general, I feel like are allowed to kind of switch their roles on who they are. She's allowed to be a political person and she's allowed to be a stripper. Like strippers vote just like we all do, you know? So they are allowed to have their take on that. And furthermore on that, I would just like to say, where is this energy about Kim Kardashian all of a sudden becoming a lawyer?
Kim Kardashian is white. First of all,
But still,
Kim Kardashian is Caucasian. Second of all, Kim Kardashian is not putting in all the work to get these people released. There's 2 black women who don't get any press that are getting these different people released.
But people
so I don't care.
But people are looking
questioning
up to Kim Kardashian as a leader, but yeah, she got famous off of a porno.
Exactly. Kim Kardashian really ain't got shit to do with the black community out because we're talking about Cardi B.
But you're talking about
we're talking about entertainers.
Groups.
Yeah.
Do y'all look up to Kim Kardashian as a leader?
No, but I can see how she could be a leader. She could be a leader just as much as.
So hold on real fast, y'all. Hold on real fast. Even speaking about Cardi B, let's go into somebody who's kind of in the same realm of politics, but on the opposite spectrum. Let's talk about Candice Owens. Right? So Candice Owens and Cardi B right now are having a feud online. Everybody's familiar with this feud. If you haven't seen it, well, basically what's going on is Cardi B said that she doesn't like to take advice from people like Candice Owens because she's following white people, you know what I'm saying? And Candice Owens responded back saying, like, how can I even listen to somebody who makes songs about, you know, quote, wet ass pussy, you know, the WAP song that's #1 on the chart. So they both made points, whichever side you look at it could be potentially valid. So let's talk about that in the aspect of, you know, speaking almost on the same thing, but speaking on this beef. Let's go into it. What's y'all opinions towards Candice Owens? Do you think she made good points? Cardi B making good points? And what's y'all opinions towards that topic at hand?
First of all, I don't know. I feel like they both made good points and are both valid. I feel like maybe Cardi B shouldn't have came and said that, you know, Candice Owens, she doesn't have great advice. But then I feel like Candice Owens was also wrong for coming out and making a video like, why should you listen to somebody who just makes this music and nobody cares about your songs and you're just not important, basically. I feel like either way, they both represent like a portion of the population, like, or a portion of the black population, and that is important. Like, Cardi B represents a group of people, as ignorant as she is, or as ignorant as she may sound, she is a representation of a portion of the population. So
is Candice Owens.
Yeah, I was even gonna say, you look like you had a facial expression towards that. What's your facial expression talking about, Noah?
What are you talking about?
You had a facial expression towards what she was saying.
No.
You got
he said no.
About what?
I haven't heard nothing. I haven't watched nothing. So.
Okay.
No.
Word up. So what's your opinions towards this? Because this is an interesting concept when you really think about it. Seems like on one spectrum you got Cardi B, who would be what you would label as a stereotypical quote-unquote female rapper entertainer in the industry. And then you got Candice Owens, who would be labeled as a sellout, right? To most black people in our community. Of course, there's that one community that looks at Candice Owens as a supporter, as like an empowering part of our community.
I mean, is she not?
Depending on how you look at it.
Is she not?
Depending on how you... So my thing is what do y'all think towards both those spectrums, and does it really benefit us, or do you think that this even should matter? Do you think it should be a topic we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like Aubrey said. I mean, it's 2 black, very prominent figures. Not only are they black, but they're females.
Right.
And they're talking about not shaking their ass. They're not talking about dancing. They're talking about things that actually matter. To me, I mean, there is no wrong in that. If anyone says things like, "Oh, they shouldn't be talking about that," they have no
right.
Like you're probably one of the most negative people I've ever been around, because how can anyone sit down and say, "Oh, 2 people are talking about change in the world, whether it's I want it to change this way, or I want it to change this way."
Right.
They're talking about changing a system, and they're both on a public platform. So they're inspiring people. They're inspiring kids. They're looking at this saying, "Damn, Cardi B's a rapper, right? She's a rapper doing whatever, but she's still in the politics world. I don't have to just put my box into this fucking rapper and go by the stigma of shooting a gun or doing drugs. I can actually step out of my box and be in this political game." Or Candice Owens is someone that has been heavily involved in politics since she's been in high school. I don't have to just sell out and do drugs and smoke weed and do all these different things. I can stick on an actual straight, narrow path and go with my beliefs, not fuck what everybody else is saying.
So who do you think is right?
I don't really care.
Do you think somebody is right in this situation?
I don't think anybody. I think they're both right. If you, like I said, it for me, the impact outweighs the argument.
What's that face you made?
I mean, how you gonna say ain't nobody right and then say they both right? But I would love to hear the sisters' point of views first, because these are two sisters arguing. So I would love to hear y'all's point of view before I say anything.
What I don't like about when anybody debates, like, to come out and say, like, well, you're stupid. Like, that's what I don't like on both sides of the situation. Like both black women insulting each other for believing differently. Like I was telling you earlier, like, I believe in validity, like validating both points of views, and they both feel this way because they both experience different points of view. So I guess I just don't agree with them calling each other stupid. Because to me, like, Cardi B's not dumb. She worked from New York. She was poor before. She worked her way up to where she is now. She put in the hard work, and she's doing what sells. Like, that's what entertainment to me is, like, what sells. What's gonna get people going. Like, it's just like something trending on social media. Like, I know I'm gonna get a bunch of likes if I take my photos like this, I do this back. It's just like when, you know, the background thing where it's like an ugly background, but you make it a cute picture. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that blew up, and people knew that would blow up, so they took pictures like that. And that's how I think Cardi B operates. I think that Candice, I don't agree when people say she's a sellout, because her motive is to educate black people. Yeah, we might not agree, and one of her biggest things is that she says, like, you don't agree because this is what you're taught. Like, she wants you to change your mind. She wants you to challenge your thinking. And I don't think that's wrong to push on to the black community. Yeah, think, like Hez says all the time, like, educate yourself. So that's how I think. Like, I don't want them to insult each other, because they both have valid points.
Exactly.
Even if we don't agree with them, they both have valid points from their point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be real with you, I think that, speaking on that aspect, I believe that, honestly, Cardi B and Candice Owens, to a degree, are on two strings being pulled with white supremacy from two different sides. So, like, at the end of the day, you're being extra.
I'm such a middle person.
Anyways, but the reason I say that is just due to the fact that I agree that, I really think both of them is, like, straight up wrong. You know, I think that they're both hypocrites towards how they're speaking or acting towards the black community. The reason I say that is just due to the fact that Candice Owens is trying to speak for black people married to a white man. I think you can't necessarily speak for black people and be married to somebody who's contrary towards the people you're trying to support.
You're going to get tore up in the comments for that.
Okay, our comments gotta be hot. But you gotta be hot.
I get what you mean.
I think that, I'm just be real, I just don't think she could really speak on that.
Wait, time out. I'm just going to ask you a question. How can she not speak from being a black person about the black experience because she's married to a white person?
Well, because your allegiance is to who you're married to. So, like,
your experiences doesn't matter who you marry. If I grew up selling crack, or I grew up in a bad area, a predominantly black area, and I go marry a white person, I don't automatically just become a white person. Everything that was my past, I forgot about.
No,
that doesn't happen. I still have the experiences, and I still have to relate to other black people, regardless of who I marry. You could be a white Viking. I would still have the same experience of how I grew up prior to, or still, and I still have that aspect to speak.
Now say something before.
I want to go ahead, bro.
Well, let him talk. Let him say something.
Yeah, because I was going. Well, you took all my points, bro. But like I was going to say, to Hez's point, he's talking about Candice Owens and Cardi B living outside of the box. No, you still in the box. The box is white supremacy. It's 400 years of conditioning of our black mind. Now you're talking about if you. But where? In America.
But where's the break? I'm saying where is the box at of white supremacy? Like, where are they?
All throughout America. Politics is white supremacy.
So why is your vote so important? They have to block
it.
It's
not.
Why the voter suppression?
Your vote is not.
Why is there voter suppression?
That's just any other way to keep a black man down. That's the same thing with locking us up.
So voter suppression. Wait, locking us up is actually profitable. Locking us up is profitable, and voter suppression is a real thing. Voter suppression is a real thing. So you can't say that our vote don't matter. Voter suppression was a real thing. I'm just saying.
You gonna let me finish?
Hold up, y'all.
Because I'll let you get your words out.
Go ahead.
You should let him finish, Elijah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hold on. So
let him talk, Elijah. Let him speak.
Listen.
We can't just keep changing. We just can't keep changing subjects every time a conversation gets uncomfortable or not with it. Hasadai, I want to hear your topic. I want to hear your piece. Please explain.
Hasadai, damn it.
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
The box is white supremacy.
Okay.
Politics is white supremacy, no matter who we're voting for. Because then we gotta realize we don't live in a democracy. We live in an oligarchy where the people with the most money, who 99% of the time are what?
White.
Exactly.
Right.
Are calling the shots.
Okay.
So they're setting up who you get to choose. So that's where your vote is going towards. Whoever I'm putting my money out towards the most. It's just like with rappers. You don't listen to you listen to the radio?
No.
Okay, word. So you'll listen to more underground type artists?
I listen to my phone. I put my phone up and I play my playlist.
Who you listen to?
Big Sean.
Big Sean.
That's what I've listened to recently.
You listen to the Detroit 2 album, right?
Right.
Now, why is that album big and popping? Why is Big Sean big and popping?
Because Nipsey Hussle's on it.
Who got behind Nipsey Hussle?
The gangbang?
Interscope.
I don't know.
Interscope had to get behind Nipsey Hussle.
But Interscope didn't make Nipsey
Universal had to
Hussle
get behind
bro.
Big Sean first.
And
that's how he got big outside of that.
Yeah, bro.
I know because they both came up on
that,
Finally Famous and
no,
the
bro.
Marathon.
I hear
all
your point.
pushing, white people pushing that
Yeah,
forward.
I hear that. But it takes, at some point, it takes the talent. Just because Interscope has pushed Lil Pump.
Man, all black people are talented.
But stop. Sony pushed Lil Pump, who is doing what now? Not absolutely shit because people have tuned in and been like, okay, music is an actual gift. It's an actual thing. You can't just, fuck around with it. So stop. So hold on.
That D-Rose
hold
got
on, bro. Because at that time, he was doing something that has never been heard before. It was a talented way to do it.
And what happened? It got pushed. There was a white man behind the desk who was like, damn, these little black people.
That's not true.
That's
not true, bro. That's not true in every single situation that you've heard. And that's what you tell yourself, that white man's behind every single thing. But a lot of the times, it's someone just like you making those buttons happen. D Rose only got Lil Pump got to where he got because D Rose went viral because Smoke Perp made it viral.
On what platform?
Twitter.
Who owns Twitter?
So now we're gonna talk about inventions and white people doing things like that. See, everything can't be going
media.
down. You can't just go back to
social media is owned by white people.
So now every black person has to go back and make a new social media platform to promote black people.
That'd be dope because black voices get suppressed. We're talking about voter suppression.
So how come we can't integrate in the system that we're doing right now and becoming more profitable in the white system that they have right now? Our black people are the world's most biggest entertainers, are they not?
You gonna let me answer?
Are black people? I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question.
Are you gonna let me answer?
I'm asking you a question. Go ahead. But I'm asking but if it's not the question, if it's not the answer that I'm looking for, I'm not gonna don't answer the question.
Okay.
Right?
So if you just want me to say yes, and boss, we can go with dance. We can do whatever Candice Owens and Cardi B says.
No.
Oh, of course. If that's what you want to hear, then yes, and boss. That's what we should do.
But how was that taken from
No, you asked about integration. Can we integrate? If we look at integration versus segregation,
but see,
when we were segregated,
we're talking about social media. We're talking about social media. So do not take it to education. Not take it to all this shit. We're talking about social media, sir.
Okay,
we're talking about social media and entertainment.
Okay,
we're talking about social media and entertainment. Keep it that way. Keep it that way.
Donald Trump.
Keep it that way. Right? Keep it that way.
Make America great.
Keep it that way.
Hold on.
And that's what it has to go to. Insults, and other different things. We can't keep it chill, right? That's what it is.
Hold up.
It's me that has to calm down, but I can be insulted and all of this shit, right?
Hey,
yeah.
So Aubrey, what do you have to say? I see both of y'all making faces over here. I want to know y'all opinions towards what's going on, and then once y'all say y'all opinions, we gonna go into something else involved in this as well. I got a question for all of y'all.
My quick statement is kind of what kind of goes to what Hez was saying, but it's kind of irrelevant, or it's not irrelevant, but we always have this mindset of like, well, this is white owned and blah 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 blah. But if you look back at like the Tulsa Massacre, Black Panthers, like all this stuff, if you look back at these black owned things that were destroyed by white people, like that was their intent. Like, we don't like this. This is not white. You have to make it work in our system. Like that's what happens. Like, black people always say like we should do our own and da da da. But like there's always some white supremacy force that like comes and knocks us down. And I'm not saying like that's okay or anything, but I'm saying like that is a thing that happens in
we can't get mad at people for playing their game.
But so that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't get mad at people for adapting. That's why I was saying like Cardi B smart. She's working the system the way it works for her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't get mad at black people for playing that game, for working their way into the system, because at the end of the day, you're just trying to survive. And you're just trying to like make it work.
That's assimilation. That's not survival.
How is it assimilation, bro?
Because to integrate means, okay, I got something you like, you got something I like, we're working together. We're not doing that. We're assimilating, meaning we're taking white supremacy and we're internalizing it.
You're taking white supremacy. And
no,
Twitter's not a white supremacist network to me. I'm sorry. Twitter and Facebook, all those things aren't.
Facebook is definitely white supremacy.
But let him finish what he was saying.
I do.
Go ahead.
What did you say? What was your question?
I asked him if he had social media.
I do. It's my job, yes. But
so explain what you're saying about assimilation.
Right. Assimilation is basically we're going to, we'll do everything the way you do it. So we don't do politics in a black way. No, we do what they do.
Right.
So vote or die. So like, I'm gonna take it way back. P. Diddy, y'all remember P. Diddy vote or die? Who set that up?
Tell us.
The DNC.
Okay.
The DNC put him out there as the spokesperson.
Okay.
So that's not P. Diddy's own thought.
So let me stop you. So we do have third parties, right? There are more than just the Republican Party. There is more than just the Republican Party, correct?
Yes. But
so wait, stop. So black people have the option to create our own party within the America's political system, and still run.
No.
Right? Yes or no? Yes or no, has it not? Yes or no?
Yes, has.
Okay, stop. Let me keep asking. So is it important to understand voter laws? Is it important to understand politics if you want to become in a system, regardless if you're going Republican, regardless if you're going Democrat, regardless if you're going third party? Is it not important to understand?
The better way is to lobby. Although we never talk about lobbying. We don't talk about the way Jewish Americans and Italian Americans and Asian Americans and Arab Americans get down and Indian Americans get down. We only talk about voting. We don't
name one Italian American that has lobbied successly.
What?
Name one Italian American.
It doesn't work as one person. I'm not a lobbyist. A lobby is a group of people.
Okay, name one Italian American group that lobbied successfully.
You have to go back to the 30s.
I'm asking you.
But that's how things get done.
Mafia. Hey, Aubrey, what do you got to say? You look like you holding in something. I want to hear what you got to say.
I'm really just listening. I'm really just listening. It's like, this is a very interesting debate. It's very interesting because I like the juxtaposition of both of it. Like, it's like kind of like with like just, I don't know. It's kind of like us versus like, should we, like, I kind of feel like integration versus just separation. But I feel like just right now though, everybody should vote. Like, everybody, please vote. Please vote. Like, I feel like that's very important.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
I just genuinely know, kind of back to my like point that I was saying earlier, like, do you guys feel like in the world that we live in right now, like black people have the resources to be our own, make our own politics, make our own like you're saying, like, make our own, because I think that's a big thing. Like, I think that's all what we want. We all want, like, our own little Wakanda. We want to live like that, but...
Is it real? Is it a real thought?
But personally, is it realistic? Yeah, personally, I just don't see in the world that we're living in, like, right now, today, I don't think that's something we can
I want to hear him answer, please.
So, if you look at it scripturally, it says in like 2 Corinthians like 6.
No. We can't talk about religion.
It's not religion. We're talking about black culture.
You can't
we talking about
just let him answer. Just let him answer.
Why you always tampering?
Because we're saying scripturally, like, that's not real.
But let him answer.
Come on. Okay.
it says come out from her and be separate, but it's not talking about physically because we stuck here. We ain't got where our home country at? What we finna go back to?
Right.
It's talking about coming out mentally. So mentally would be coming out of the culture of America, coming out of doing the things they do. Now we look at it, we have lots of millionaires. We have lots and lots of millionaires. But because we're not on the same page, we're not looking to put our money all together and help out Flint, Michigan and make sure they got some clean water.
Right.
We're not looking to help out people in New Orleans who are suffering from crime. And we look at the crime is because of low wages, because we ain't got jobs and things of that nature, and the infrastructure around us is falling apart. Or we look at Detroit and that. But we have millionaires who can go, if we put our money together and we go and we buy that up, and then we set up a community, that could happen.
Right.
So why are we doing this? It's because we're not on the same mindset. What's up?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, furthermore, just like of what you said, kind of just like I feel like how those kind of like go hand in hand is just like the black family was like the most like broken apart family, and it was meant to be like that though, and that's like where we like literally that's where we are right now, 400 plus years later of just systematically breaking down the black family.
We're in a broken environment.
Exactly. So how are we? So you say you want to like integrate. How can we do that as black people who are just so broken? Because I know personally, my family cannot work together. Period. Point blank. They will either steal from one another.
What?
They will fight.
Time out.
What?
Time out.
Try to say that.
Time out. I want to make sure we're clear on the words you just said. How are black people going to integrate?
You mean segregate?
Well, you mean separate.
No, right? I mean work together, co-work.
That's what she means. So while you're right.
No, she still got a good point.
Yeah, she does have a good point, but it's more towards
the same.
not towards the integration.
Because I definitely feel like we could do that. But just like how like everybody's been donating to just the Black Lives Matter movements and all like Chase Bank donated, all these banks that everybody's been donating, where has the money been going to? And furthermore, who's handling it? Because if it's just like one black family, like, because I know if it was my black family getting donated $5 million, shit.
What? It ain't even going to black people though. It's going to the Democratic National Convention.
But a lot of them, but some are going to George. But there's GoFundMes for George Floyd's family. There's GoFundMes for Breonna Taylor. There's GoFundMes for just Black Lives Matter in general. There's GoFundMes for Save the Children. Like there's so many GoFundMes.
If you donate to Black Lives Matter, you could go on their website. Mm-hmm. It will direct you to another website that tells you where all the money is going, and it is going to different political organizations to get Joe Biden elected.
Mm-hmm. So that's all to the Democratic National Party?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm saying I wish that was more...
I didn't fact check.
I wish that was more...
I can't tell you nothing.
Yeah, but I wish that was more geared towards helping like resources for the actual black community instead of getting a presidential candidate who might do it.
There are resources. There are resources that help you, that help black people, that help our people locally.
But mainly just putting the family together so we can.
Even before we go into that, that's dope because it's a perfect segue. We're gonna take a quick break real fast. We're going to be back on in a quick second. Don't go anywhere. Make sure you watch the tunes because we're going to be back in about 2 minutes. Outside of that, we're pretty much good to go, and we'll catch y'all then.
Okay. Youdia.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all for staying tuned. We're back again, and we're about to get into our next segments. So basically, if you missed the first part, it really got into some heated debates about Cardi B, Candice Owens, Joe Biden, Cardi B. You know what I'm saying? How the black community should operate within this American system, or if they should. You know, so now we're going to go into a different realm as a whole. We're going to be talking about more voting. Like, for example, understanding a little bit more of the political realm with voting, how you should vote. Are you informed on voting? Doing your research on how you should do it? And so we're going to bring it back onto this side of the room. You want to start off, Nadia, on that?
What do I say? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Aubrey, start off.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we can kind of just get into. I want to start it off with really just kind of like debunking the main claims of why people don't vote and why they don't want to vote. And I want to hear everybody else's reasonings, and just so we don't get like a lot of repetition of what I've heard just personally. One of the main things I've heard people say they don't want to vote is because we live in a corrupt system and because they feel like their vote doesn't matter because of the electoral versus the popular vote. And with those two reasons, I just want to hear any other reasons. If people have the same reasonings, please explain why you feel like that, or if you have different reasons as to why you don't want to vote, or you don't vote, or you wouldn't want to vote.
Here, also, make sure, just to let y'all know, that y'all comment down below y'all opinions towards understanding your value towards voting, or you voting, or being informed on voting, or certain percentages as well, because doing even a little bit of research to go into it, speaking on what we're going into. For example, a lot of people don't know this, but we talked about this a little bit last time. About 10% of the population of people under the age of 24 to about 18 years old, which is Generation Z. Pretty much all of us in here are Generation Z, except you're millennial. And about 10% of us actually go out and decide to actually put in a vote no matter what you're affiliated with or what you're for. And we're wondering why. Honestly, we're the lowest percentage outside of the silent generation, which is in the 1940s, which is about 11% so far. And so, I mean, of course it makes sense. A lot of the silent generation is like 80, 90 years old. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them can't even leave their bed. So, of course, it makes sense on why the political climate and voting would be a smaller percentage. Why do you think it's so small for our generation, or why they're uninformed on politics as a whole? Is it due to the fact of us feeling hopeless, feeling like these politicians can do nothing for our communities? Or is it due to the fact of us being uninformed, being lazy, and too busy focused on other things such as entertainment? What is y'all opinion towards that?
I definitely think that there's multiple reasons. I think a big one, at least I see it in my surroundings, is just that we just don't know enough. Like, unfortunately, politics isn't like pretty. It doesn't like get you like that quick dopamine. Like it you have to actually do your research. You have to actually learn. So I think just in like younger generations, it's like people just don't want to do the research. It's easy to just follow the trend. But I also do agree with what you were saying earlier. Like, I think we're in a very eye-opening time right now. And back in like Kennedy and like Reagan and like with those presidents, it's so easy to be like, I'm gonna get behind him because I know like I can trust this man, like he's gonna lead us well, like this is a leader. But I think we're in a time period, I think this is our second presidential election, at least for me, where it's like it kind of feels like you're voting for the lesser of two evils. Exactly.
You know, the crazy part is even with the voting environment as of today, about 51% of people around that range percent, even though there's a small percentage of Gen Z or Generation Z or young people going out to vote, about majority of the people per capita who are actually going out to vote at that percentage-wise is actually people of color, which is surprising. So that means a lot of the people who are not of color are the ones deciding not to go out and vote who are our age ranges. Why do you think the percentage of color is rising when it comes to the political climate with our age ranges? Why do you think that is? And you know, the crazy part is you go back in 2008, and this is wild, because every time there's like a wild political climate in America, when we really feel like something's about to happen for our community through politics, it's the youth always rise up and come out for the ballots. For example, in 2008, when Obama was running for office, that was the highest percentage of youth actually going out to vote in American history. Literally, it was the highest percentage. It was majority of people who were millennials going out to vote around our age ranges now. It's the same thing, but now it's people of color really pushing for it. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's just due to the fact that Donald Trump, a lot of people don't like him, or Joe Biden, or just us being able to try to figure out what the political realm of what's going on is, understanding what voting is, or do you think the black, brown, indigenous people of color community is trying to come together and just understand what's going on within this system, system going on right now in politics?
Right. I think it's. Sorry, I don't mean to talk again, but I think it's because that's what they tell you. Like, you've been told your entire life, well, these people voted, and this is how they got change. And so, like, maybe for the black and brown community, like, especially right now, it's like, we could go protest, we could go do, I'll speak up, we could go protest, we could go do what we need to do, but we've been told, like, nothing's gonna matter unless we go vote. And I think that we've been taught that throughout generations, like
to go out and vote,
just to go vote. And
right.
And I was watching, even Joe Biden had mentioned it when he was growing up in the civil rights era and everything. Like he was told, like, they seen racism, they seen it all already, and so he's like, youth instantly jumped to go vote because that's what they were told. Like, if you vote, they're not going to be racist anymore. Like, that's what they were told in their generation. So I think that's why people of color are voting more.
I was going to say, I fully agree with you. I think young black people have been conditioned to believe, like, yeah, just vote. They died for your right to vote.
Right.
But we don't talk about what you should be voting for, because if you're really trying to vote for your judge. Vote for your mayor, vote for your senator, your Congress, if that's your thing.
Your local.
And do y'all know what branch of government that is?
Local government?
It's judicial, right? Don't they all have that?
Judges are judicial.
Judges are judicial,
Congress people are legislative.
Mm-hmm. Congress and
executive
senator,
is the president.
Exactly, judicial judges.
Right.
Good job, y'all.
Wait, just give us a civics lesson?
No, I just want to make sure, because the whole thing is a lot of people go out, like, for example, this is a stereotype in the black community that's actually true. A lot of people are told to go vote Democrat. No, like, there's no reason on why. A lot of people just want, even if they're uninformed on voting altogether, don't understand the three branches of government. One of the most simple things, it's like understanding the alphabet, but for government.
But that's another thing that's changing, because black people, we're not dumb.
Right.
We're becoming disillusioned with the fact that there's going to be Bill Clinton just because he played saxophone and smoked a little bit of weed going to do something for us. Everybody can see Obama ain't do shit for Chicago.
Right.
Like, we can all see this. We're not idiots. So at this point, like, a good majority of black people are just like, nah, I'm not dealing with that.
Right.
So in actuality, if black people were really trying to do something politically, they would vote with their dollar.
Right.
We are the #1 consumers in America. If we was really trying to do something, we'd be like, we not finna spend on this day, or we not finna spend with this company. Like, that's what it would be.
Yeah.
We would be like, all right, Mr. Trump, we ain't spending no money until you do this for us.
Right.
I definitely wish we had more black lawyers and more black judges, especially judges. You know what I'm saying? Even on the Supreme Court, if we had like 7 Supreme Court members who were black and brown, that'd be crazy, bro.
And that goes to Hez's point about voter suppression. Because voter suppression really started during Reconstruction, when a lot of black people were getting into office down in the South. So that's when they had to put their Klan hoods on and be like, no, nigga, you can't vote around here. Type shit. That's when it went down.
And you had to be grandfathered in as well.
Exactly. The crazy part about that is, when you look back in 1965, a lot of people don't know, this is actually when black men got the right to vote. All men around America, period. Didn't matter what nationality or color you were. 1965, right when we got out of slavery, when we were the most illiterate, was when we actually
1865?
1865, I apologize. 1865 was actually when black men and all men got the right to vote. I appreciate that. That'd be crazy. Nah. And then, the crazy part is women in the 1920s got the right to vote. Like 1920 exactly. That means this has been 100 years since women has had the right to vote.
And
19th Amendment.
Native American women couldn't vote until the 70s. That's real.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's amazing. Native American women couldn't vote until the 70s. And the crazy part is, and also in the 70s, what became legalized is people under the age of 18 being able to vote. So a lot of people don't know that you had to be 21 and over, just like you had to be 21 to drink alcohol.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, to go vote. Which is crazy to me, because I feel like you should definitely, no matter what your opinion or value is towards voting, you should definitely at least have the right to vote at 18 if you have the right to go fight for a country.
16.
You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I think that if you could drive a 10-ton vehicle, you know what I'm saying, that could go speeds of 100 miles per hour, can kill people.
Yeah.
You should, at 16 years old, you should definitely be able to put in the ballot. You know what I'm saying? You could have a baby at 16. You know what I'm saying? Younger. You understand right from wrong at 16 years old. I think that you should definitely understand right from wrong from voting, or at least have the understanding of the right to, no matter what your values are. And so the whole thing is what we're doing.
I wonder what why that is that they don't why they say like there's an age limit on voting, because I mean, like, I feel like when I was 14 even, like, I understood, like, I was starting to understand politics, and I was starting to understand what the voting realm looked like, I guess. Like, I'm not saying we should vote at 14 and understand, like, kids are kids, but why do we jump to invalidate ages? Because, you know what I mean? Because right now we got a whole bunch of old white people.
I think it's just more of like an experience thing.
Yeah.
If I was just being honest, and if I was running things, I would want people that, like, at least had the mind capacity to know they're gonna research based off like facts and not just their emotions or what they've seen on TikTok.
And I think that's why
14-years were able to vote. They do a lot of voting off of TikTok, and Facebook, and Twitter, and
off of propaganda.
A lot of propaganda. It wouldn't be off of like, let me just research what this guy's talking about.
But it's very easy to teach. It's very easy to teach if you could teach a 14-year-old American history, then you could teach a 14-year-old the process of voting and what it means to vote and how to vote and what is going on in politics without being biased. You know what I mean?
The whole thing is
or not even, and don't even take like 14 and run with it, because I was just 14 and I'm a different kid. Like, when I was 14, I was like, I'm gonna join the military. Like, I was also that kid as well. But I'm talking like 16-year-olds as well, like younger kids as well. You know what I mean?
I think voting, like, if you really hold value in voting, I think that you should at least get like parental approval, or you'll be able to sign the petitions, or have some way to be able to create a cop-out if you really want to vote. You know what I'm saying, at a young age.
Then wouldn't you just vote based on what your parents say?
It depends. A lot of people are contrary towards their parents' belief system. So, like, for example, there might be a kid that, believes that Donald Trump is the man with the plan. Their parents might be like, yo, bro, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris.
Why would their parents sign off on
You know what I'm saying? It just depends.
Why would their parents sign off on them voting?
Or that could put them in a, like a position to where they might, like, like, I know there's a lot of kids right now who are just, like, standing up for Black Lives Matter, and their parents are, like, kicking them out because they're, like, Trump supporters.
Woo!
I mean...
So, like, what if you're, like, 14 or not even 14, just 16 in high school, and you, like, now you can vote, but, like, it's like you live with your parents, and they're, like, Trumpers, and you're like, Black Lives Matter, and they're like, get your shit and go, like.
So this is an interesting subject because, like, I work with an organization that's trying to push a bill. It's a SB2, Student Voice, Student Vote, and their big thing is making it legal for, like, 16-year-olds to vote in school board elections.
Okay.
So why don't we talk about that? Like, who actually go to school board meetings?
Right.
I've been to a couple.
Yeah, man.
I've had speeches at school board meetings and everything.
I've never been to a school board meeting.
3 out of the 4 black men in the room have been there.
That's good. That's damn good.
That is,
That's damn good, boy. It's damn good.
And I know people in my school board personally as well.
But why don't we start? Why don't we start the conversation there instead of going straight to the president of the United States?
I
That's where we get.
Because we did say locally.
Yeah, we get super focused on the president. And the president's a figurehead.
But Denver does a really good job, especially when it comes to like the school board. That was just a really bad example. I'm sorry, sorry. Tay Anderson.
I know that's
very young.
That's y'all man's.
If you're young, like that's who you rock with, and he's done a lot of education.
You made a face. You said that's your man's. You made a face. Why you made a face?
You don't like Tay?
No, I love Tay. Shout out to Tay. That's my guy.
Shout out Tay.
You made a face though. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, everybody knows Tay.
No, I feel like Tay's great.
Tay's
amazing. He's great role model for the young people to get out there and vote. But just like Nadia was saying, like I feel like they should definitely start it earlier though. Like as a freshman, you should have like a voting class maybe or something where it just tells you like the importance of voting and research and having your own opinion and
because
stuff
honestly,
like that.
when you turn 18, they send your ass out into the world. Go vote, kiddo.
Literally, like
I got my first ballot. I was like,
I mean,
they make us memorize the Declaration of Independence, but like,
where they do that at?
I had to memorize the first paragraph.
I couldn't graduate.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't.
They are endowed by their creator. Yeah.
Damn, white supremacy strong.
Hey, I was gonna say though, but you know the crazy part is even speaking on that, they also do the same thing for mortgages. You know what I'm saying, or like credit. They teach you all that at 18, which they should teach younger.
They taught you at 18?
Yeah, they taught
you. Listen, you hold up, listen. You unwillfully learn a lot of that information at 18 due to whatever situation you in trying to pay bills.
Yeah, but they don't teach you it.
It's more
like
training
sitting you down like,
job.
this is credit, and this is what happens if you don't pay that shit, and this is how it can fuck your life up. Like, nobody told me that. Like,
I mean, you can set up for programs, but you're right. Unwillfully, you learn that.
But it's just like, but I'm gonna just get into a whole other realm of thing. Is like, who decides what we're learning in school? Because I can give a flying fuck, to be honest, about geometry. Like, I have not used that shit.
And first of all, Texas Instruments is like one of the most racist, like if you guys look into Texas Instruments that makes the majority of the textbooks and like gives them
calculators
like, the calculators, they're racist as fuck, and they used to own a plantation. Like, it's so racist, and I'm still wondering why to this day are we still using a company that was very racist?
Because of the nation that we live in.
Because the school
system
racist.
We're using their textbooks that they're printing and they're making and their history books, and I'm just like, it's a little sketch.
I mean,
do they own like prisons too?
They probably do.
So that would make sense.
I was gonna say that makes sense though, because DPS, Denver Public Schools. Yeah, real talk. Denver Public Schools was made and established in 1859. We wasn't released into slavery until 1865. You know, 1863, depending on who you're talking to, right? So that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Everything that's established around us is under a white supremacist culture in some way, shape, and form. That means we was literally in slavery. But the whole thing is like...
What you mean not Denver?
Denver's a real, like, leftist. Well, now.
You know that there was slaves.
Now. Denver's a real left community.
For the last 10 years.
Last, like, 20.
What party's the left wing?
Almost all of Denver.
No, I'm saying what party is the
Have you been outside of Denver and Aurora?
The Democrats?
Democratic Party.
Who was big on slavery?
But he's saying Denver. He didn't say Colorado. He said Denver.
Democrats were.
Okay.
But he said for the past 20 years, so you...
But yeah, like that, like I was saying, like who is in charge of what we learn in school? Like we used to have shop classes, and we used to have like home ec and all these classes that can teach you shit outside that you don't like. I have not done a lick of anything.
I haven't used the Pythagorean theorem.
Yes, I haven't done any of that.
Y'all be calculating hypotenuses, right?
Okay, that thing got
normal.
Like, you don't use that. I can't infer when the light's gonna turn green. You know what I mean? Like,
I argue geometry is a necessity in school. I've always argued this with people. The reason I say geometry is a necessity in school, and I actually advocate for us to push it and educate the people we do at the age range, is due to the fact that people want to have houses, right? Everybody wants to have their dream house. Everybody wants to have their dream couches. Everybody wants to have their dream.
Maybe not geometry, but calculus, I would argue that is completely irrelevant.
But geometry, you actually do need in life in order to calculate stuff.
But geometry, you can take a course, just like with learning about. I took a African American Studies class. Like that's something I feel like is a necessity. I feel like we should all learn that. But I had to take that class. I am not I don't even know. I can't even think of what they're called. I don't build houses. I don't plan on building my house. I don't. You know what I mean? Like
I want to bring a couch inside your house. You have to understand the measurements of what is good.
Bro, I ain't never used the average nigga move no damn
But
couch.
I
No,
can
I'm saying, what if the couch is too long
hire
for your
someone
living
to
room?
do that. That is their job field.
But you can save money.
But I can hire someone to do it.
Yeah, man, this
That's their
argument
job
sucks,
field.
my nigga. This
That's
shit-
their
that's-
job field.
No argument.
I think the conversation more goes to when it comes to voting, where is our actual what do we put our energy towards?
Right.
When is a nigga ever came to Donald Trump and been like, yo, you need to do something about this school system? Or when has Cardi B come to Joe Biden and been like, so what we doing about the curriculum? Are we changing it to be more centric towards Black and Hispanic people? Are we gonna stop saying that Christopher Columbus discovered America? What are we doing with this? Or are we really looking into this? Why don't we have home ec? Where's the shop classes? Where are the auto repair classes?
And I think that's mostly because when you talk to presidential candidates, you have to talk about the country.
Yeah,
and I don't think all of those topics, I agree that they should be nationwide changed, but I don't think the way to attack it is through the president, because it's just, when you start with the country, if you start with the country, it's going to be like mushed together. But if you could start in your school district and at least say, let's start, like I remember in my AP class, my AP literature class, they're like, we're going to start teaching more African American authors. Like, if you can start there in that class and then branch out to the district and then branch out, then that's how you spread nationwide. But if you go to Donald Trump and be like, the curriculum, he's going to be like, we got this to worry about, and your curriculum shit is not on the list.
I mean, or he's just gonna go to like the Board of Education and be like, here, this is what they said.
Right,
fix it.
right.
Yeah,
But it's not gonna be tackled the way it needs to.
Education starts to become like, then you gotta do, just like you guys said, national and federal, the local and federal government.
But Donald Trump put in Betsy DeVoe, who was slowly but surely privatizing the education system,
for sure,
turning that into another form of slavery.
But I definitely agree with Nadia on and I feel like what you said kind of just like debunks most claims about how people don't vote. It's just, we have to start somewhere. We have to start locally. We have to start small. Like, we have to, like, as people, as Black people, white, whatever, we have to stop thinking we just got to make it this big old thing. We got to start with the biggest thing and make it the biggest freaking, ever. It has to be all over the net, where it has to be viral. Like, no, it can start in everybody's community if we're all, like, taking parts of just trying to change little parts where we can and facing it when we can. And I feel like it will change on a grand scale.
Shit, you can start an education on YouTube. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Build that up and then start.
We're living in a system based off big decisions that were made without our voices present. And I feel like that is the biggest thing right now, is making our voices present in these small decisions that lead up to the bigger ones. Yeah. You know?
And that's why I also think it's important to have, why do we have age limits on political places you could be? Like, I think it's like you have to be 35 to be a senator or something like why is that an age limit?
Oh, because of experience.
I
feel like that's valid. I feel like being 35 or like being 40 to be a president.
But I don't think so.
I feel like
I don't know if a
maybe
21-year-old could run the country. I'm just be real.
But that 21-year-old who's been in college for political science, took all these classes, versus Trump, who started his own show and now he's a president. I would have way more hope for the 21-year-old in our generation and in these times versus Trump, who's never had no political experience ever in life, and he was literally just on a TV show, and that's like it.
And it's also like don't limit young people to such stereotypes. Like, you guys are all young, and I trust everything that you say. Like, I trust that you guys are educated. I trust that you guys could lead a community. If we're saying that we can lead a community, and if we're gonna start locally, we're gonna start. But it has to be a 35-year-old. That's what this show's about. Like, hearing from the young people, like hearing
like
that young people are,
you know,
like young people are smart as well.
I trust her.
Me personally, I do think that there with age does come experience, regardless of how you look at it. I know we want to say that we'll trust a 21-year-old in office over Trump. Yeah, that's cool. But over anybody else, that's probably not the case. Over Obama,
no, I was saying a 21-year-old with experience.
Probably any other president, that's probably not the case. And so what we have to think about is, maybe we should start applying not necessarily age, but experience. How many times have you run in a presidential race? How many times have you been governor? How many times have you been mayor? You know what I'm saying? Before we start looking at age, because to me personally, experience does matter.
Because you could be 35 with no experience.
True, you could, but you've been through the world long enough that gives you more experience over someone that's 21.
Why aren't we electing officials like already inside the branches of government? Like, why are we electing these randos? Like, why don't we just elect Brad?
Donald Trump is definitely a rando. If you're talking about someone that was not, okay.
Why aren't we electing people who are already working the judicial branch? You know, like if Brad has been doing a great job working there for 30 years, why don't we elect him to be president?
We do that.
Obama was just that's not a good point. That's not a good point. Corrupt as hell. They've been in their Senate seat for a good 12 years.
But not all of them.
And the big point why Donald Trump won his election was because he was that outlier. He was the one that was going to change a lot of the. He was that one outside guy who was going to come in.
For who?
For the white party.
For the white community.
Not even for the white. Just for
the white party though.
Just for. I don't know how to say it. For conservatives.
For the white community.
For people that love America. They're like diehard Americans.
People who love what?
So the Candice Owens.
Because not everybody. Because it's not all white people. There are black people on there that are diehard Trump fans. There are Mexicans that are diehard Trump fans. So I can't just subjugate that to just one party. But there are hella people out there that voted for Trump because he gave that kind of look of, this guy's on the outside, he knows nothing about the inside, so we're going to vote for him because he's going to take down the inside. So that's just what I'm saying. We agree. We're on the same.
Let's take Baltimore, because Baltimore's pretty fucked up. That's a pretty fucked up community. Can we all agree on that? Okay, we can all agree, right?
It's pretty bad.
So Baltimore, it was fucked up under Bill Clinton, right?
It's fucked up with everybody.
Oh, it's fucked up. Damn, why you jumping the gun, ass?
Because it's still fucked up.
Okay, the hood always gonna be scary. Vote ain't doing shit for the black community.
We're not doing
Hold on. Even going into that though, let's go a little bit more in depth.
Can I say a statement real fast though?
Yeah.
Say a statement.
Okay. I just want to say that with what you were saying, like Trump has changed the face of Republicans. Like the way, like, so instantly, like, if you're not for, like, if it's either like you're for Trump or you're not Republican. You know what I mean? And that's how people look at it. That's the perspective. Like, I've met plenty of Republicans or conservatives that are like, I'm not for Trump. I'm not for Trump, but they're still Republican and conservative. So I just wanted to say that and even like black people who aren't for Democratic parties, it's like, okay, well, you're Obama because Obama's the face of Democrats. That's who you think of. When you think Democratic, you think Obama, Biden, Hillary Clinton, all that shit. But Trump is Republican. Like, you think of these people, and if you take those people out and separate what the parties are actually for, that's what you should do when you vote, and not look at the specific person who represents that.
And you should look at all of it. You should look at all of it.
And I have a scenario for y'all though, going into those topics. So if you can, let's say you can make a political candidate of your own. Say you can do that, right? You can make the perfect, not even political candidate. Let's say you can make the perfect politician already and put in that office space.
Right.
Let's just go with 7 things. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody got to talk on it because 7's a lot. Let's say 7. No, let's make it 3. Let's say 3 things that you could put onto that politician that creates values, agendas, and specific things that could actually create change for things you want in this country or agendas you want in this country. What would it be and why? Let's talk about that a little bit. Because I want to really understand where you guys' mindset is on a political politician. You know what I'm saying? And what position in office would he hold? Let's say that as well.
A Mexican female.
Woo! Period.
I want a Mexican female in office.
Okay. So where? As a president?
As president.
Okay, so as a president. You want a president. What you want?
Why not a black female? Sorry, I'm not even going to go
there. I was going to say a black female, or somebody black. I
want a minority female as a
But I want somebody who got it out the mud. I'm talking like Chris Rock when he was on that one movie.
Yes, Head of State
Head of State. I need like somebody like that, okay?
So
you weren't even there, and they were talking about Head of State. That's crazy.
What?
Yeah, you weren't even there.
Oh, yeah, we was having a good conversation.
So you want Chris Rock as president? You want a comedian as president, pretty much.
Don't do that to her shit.
He was an alderman in the movie.
I need somebody who's been poor as president, okay? Who's been poor before. That's who I need as president.
That's a good quality.
I just need someone who will be valid in every situation. I don't necessarily need them to be poor, and I don't necessarily need them to be rich. I just need somebody who can put themselves in other people's shoes.
Be very empathetic.
Be empathetic, exactly, and not just like I don't care about my feelings, but like about everything. Like coming from a military standpoint, like do I want a bunch of troops like risking their lives? Is this worth it? Or like should I care about if abortion's in politics? Like just be very empathetic on all ends and willing to hear it out. And when you come to a decision to lead in that way, like you're leading because
what are they gonna look like?
What are they gonna look like?
Because that's important.
Qualities.
I don't care what they look like.
So they could be white.
Yeah.
White man.
Unfortunately, white is what dominates this nation.
So you want your president to be white with the empathy?
I did not say I want them to be white. I said that I want them to be. I don't care what they look like.
As long as they're empathetic.
You don't care what
Don't
they look
twist
like.
my words. I said I don't care what they look like. I said this is what I want them to be able to accomplish.
But no. He said perfect qualities. Perfect. If you had to envision one president, the reason why I said minority females, because if you look at all the presidents, they've all been white males except for one who has been a black male,
but he was mixed with white.
Right, who wasn't really black, kind of.
He's black, bro.
He wasn't my black.
He's black.
He wasn't my black.
He's black, bro.
Yeah, but
Steph Curry's black. He's black.
But P Diddy wouldn't have gotten in office, would he?
Bro, he's black.
Would P Diddy in office?
He wasn't my black.
Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, you have all these different forms, and I feel like what they stand for is important, but also like who is saying what you stand for is also important too.
Let him finish. So it's still her point of view.
Just to me, like I genuinely feel that way. I don't know, chop my head off, but I've met some genuine white people. I've met white people who advocate for the black community. I've met white people who have gone to
oh heavens!
A majority of them were at the protest. And shout out to if you were a white person at the protest.
And I'm just saying, like you're saying earlier, we are assimilating in a world, and unfortunately, in my mindset, we just got to work together. And so, in my head, this is the perfect person to be somebody who can advocate for both sides and understand both sides and be empathetic for everybody's point of view. And that's just in my opinion. That they don't have a skin color, they don't have a gender. Obviously, I would love to see a black woman as president. I would love to see another black man. I love to see another person of color. But to me, it's what you're standing for that matters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood. What do you think? What's a quality president for you?
Well, quality they have to have is basically what they can basically
Take a minute. Yeah.
Take a minute. Think about it.
Come back.
Can I add something though? Just based on what you guys are saying, what will he look like? Everybody voted for Obama because he was black his first term. I'm just saying. And everyone was like, he's black. He's going to change the world. Blah, 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 blah. He's our first black president. Yes, that gives you hope. That's amazing. But a lot of y'all now would say that he didn't do, like you said, he didn't take care of Chicago. He didn't take care of the country. That's what y'all said, but y'all are just going off of looks. I care more about characteristics.
Well, me, even in that situation, Obama had to be I felt like we needed that.
And I agree.
So even if he came out there and said anything, I mean, he could have done anything for the black community, which he didn't do. But what he did was subconsciously tell little black boys, little black girls that, yes, we can be in this system that has oppressed us.
It was Martin Luther King's dream. Hey,
was he?
Leah, what's the perfect president for you? Does he have to have a look? Does he also have to have a quality that goes with that look?
Do they have to be a he?
Yeah, I think it would be a black female, and I have to agree with you. It's more about being able to see from both sides and coming to an understanding and working for both. Depending on what people are wanting and other people are wanting, like being able to understand both sides and meet in the middle is a strong quality to have. So
Okay,
that's all I kind of
So empathy, understanding where they come from, all of that. What about you?
Ideal president for America.
An ideal president for America.
Go ahead.
What do they have to look like?
Well, they should be white, like very Caucasian, blonde hair, blue eyes.
Oh, for America.
Very red skin.
He's saying for America.
Characteristics, racist, but like old time racist,
Mm-hmm.
like hard R.
How come y'all don't stop him and say, "Go ahead, man, answer the question for real"?
I'm being for real.
This is
They know I'm keeping it 100. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Racist with the hard R. Capitalist, super capitalist. Like never worked hard a day in their life. Like daddy's money. Like Johnny Manziel rich. Like big money.
I'm gonna stop you, bro. Be realistic.
I'm
gonna stop you, bro.
being.
If you had to vote, if Hasadai had to vote for one person in office,
Hasadai ain't voting.
If you
had to.
No, let's say.
You gonna put me to death? I ain't voting.
Let's say. Just keep picturing your president. Like, keep doing it.
Okay, yeah. So not old, maybe like 45.
So I got a question.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, very red skin. Like even when he's not angry, red. Racist. Like hard R. Doesn't even like Mexicans in his house. Still calls people engines. Capitalist. Like billionaire. Like
calls people commies.
Yeah, exactly. Type shit. Like and yeah, a warmonger type of dude who's just like. I need that oil. oil. Yeah, type shit like black George Bush, but not black. Type shit. That's what I want. Like, yo, like, I will nuke anybody who wants it. Like, ready for the smoke type cat.
All right, so.
Yikes.
My question would be, why?
Because it's going to teach black people and Hispanics and Native Americans, like, bro, America is not for us. We should get our stuff together so we can get up out of here.
So you're saying...
Where did we go? Like, I just feel like when you were talking the entire time, like, I was like, I just don't think it's realistic. It's really not to think... And I'm sorry, like, I don't mean to cut you off, but I really don't think it's realistic to say, like, black people need to get their own, like, need to come to their senses and get their own, like, where are we gonna go? Like, where are we gonna, like, we could, like you guys were saying earlier, like she said, like, her family would probably still invite each other. Like, we have to build those, we have to build that bridge. Yeah.
No, if I'm keeping it band with you, there's literally.
And unfortunately, like, black people are in America. Like, I'm American. I'm African American. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off. I just feel a little passionate.
No, get passionate. That's good. There's a set of rules and a way of life that you can live by, where you're not gonna kill another brother because he look like you or because he got something better than you. Right. You're not gonna sleep with your sister's husband or your brother's wife. Right. There's a set of rules that we could live by. And this super racist president that lives in my brain, who's probably gonna manifest here in a good
15 minutes?
No, maybe like 8 years. Yeah, let's give it 8 years. He gonna make us be like, all right, well, maybe I should act right. Maybe I should get my shit together.
Right.
So you're saying the worse the president, the more our communities are going to be able to create value within one another.
Yeah, oppression make you act right.
I have a question. So just like for you. So you say like you don't vote, and that's like a very bold statement on our voting segment.
No, but
Please vote. I do love your point of view, but I do just want to say, for the people that do want to vote,
vote with
if you were to vote, what would be your ideal president for this election, or just like in general?
In this election,
if you were voting, like if you were
not just this election, but if ever.
I mean, I'm saying what I'm saying to y'all. Black people, get your money together, put it all together, create a lobby, then go to your different representatives and be like, we need this for our community in Green Valley Ranch. We need this for our community in Park Hill, on the east side, Swansea, Elyria. We need this for our people in Aurora. This is what we need. We got the money. Now, if you want to get reelected in your spot, you're going to do what we say, because we're the one paying for it.
That's a very good point.
So basically, use your bread to create politicians.
So it's kind of like play their own game.
But hang on. That isn't a characteristic of a president.
No, because I just told you, bro. I told you I want a super racist president.
Then he gave his philosophy of what.
And I want him from Texas. I want him
From
to be
Texas.
from
Of course,
Texas.
of course you gotta be.
Okay, so let me.
I'm crying. Why not
Never mind.
Mississippi or Alabama?
Yeah, all right,
Texas.
y'all. All right, y'all. So
What about you, Elijah?
Wow.
What about you?
Hey,
Noah had something to say, man.
Yeah.
And then we'll go to you.
Well, I mean, we're about to run out of time, so
we have about
unfortunately,
5 minutes. Go ahead. What about you? Give us 3.
No,
yo, you're
I
we
know
don't got 5 minutes. We unfortunately are about to run out of time, y'all. So I want y'all to go and shout out what y'all have to shout out first and foremost. Unless Noah got something. You got something to say, Noah?
I was about to say.
Say what you got to say, Noah. I'm just playing with you, man. Say what you got to say.
My ideal president is basically who can look both ways about the problems that people are dealing with, and could do it with a Bible, like the real one, not the white Christ and all that, the real Bible, and basically try to solve the problems through that, not his own thinking, but with that.
So philosophically, they're thinking
He has to be black too.
Which is basically what Republicans are. They are Christian loving people.
But actually follow.
Do things by the Bible.
Really
Well, not
follow
all
the
of
Bible.
them.
In God we trust.
Y'all gotta use conservative.
Yeah, guns or
In
drugs.
God we trust. I'm telling you. I get what you're saying, though.
But
I get what you're saying.
Interesting point for sure. So after that, y'all, I think we're done for the day. It was a beautiful segment talking about values of voting and politics.
Yes.
And make sure y'all comment down below what's the perfect politician for you. Y'all values towards voting, you know what I'm saying? Talk about all y'all different values, understanding, points of views down in the comments below. We'll make sure we read it. And also make sure y'all subscribe to Youdia TV, our network on YouTube. Make sure y'all go like the page, our network. Go follow and make sure y'all watch our network live on Instagram as well. Y'all got anything to say? Y'all got any businesses to shout out?
As always, follow Love Sunglasses, LUV Sunglasses on Insta. Also wanted to just mention that I am at the Aurora Mall in Notorious.
Woo woo!
Whoop, whoop. Yep, so you can check out my sunglasses there too. Yeah.
Make sure y'all are voting, as everybody has said, even Hasadai, Elijah too, who for some reason we can't actually meet in the middle.
You ain't heard nothing I said.
First and foremost, do your research. That's I always gotta preach that. Do your research. Always make sure that you're staying up to date on what you're talking about, so you don't look like an idiot. And second most, vote locally. That's probably the most important thing that will impact your day-to-day life. Don't think so much about the presidential election. It is important, but it is not important as your day-to-day life. Think local, vote local. It is all local. Everything is local.
And if you choose to vote, make sure that you also understand what's going on around your political climate.
Research,
Don't just do it. Don't just do it because you're like, oh, I like his name. His name is Jamal Jenkins. I'm gonna vote for him.
Do your research.
Any Jamal.
So at least have an understanding. Don't look at the stereotype. At least have an understanding on what you're talking about. Don't just do things because you want to do it. Understand why you're doing it, right? We all have to be able to be well read and well informed on what's going on around us. Does that make sense?
Right.
You got anything to say, Nadia?
On the contrary, also be willing to challenge what you think and what you know by researching and knowing your stuff. So, yes.
Thank you guys for watching. Go follow my Instagram at Ilea Creations. Also on Facebook, EYEYLIYAH Creations.
Coolio. And also make sure you go follow the Young Activist page. We're about to be at 7,000 likes on Facebook, you feel me? So make sure y'all do that and also follow us on Instagram as well. Like I said, make sure y'all subscribe to Youdia. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. We need y'all help. We need y'all support. We're trying to get to 1,000 likes on Facebook and 1,000 followers. So make sure y'all help us out so we can get to our goals. And outside of that, we pretty much done with y'all today. And we're going to talk to y'all tomorrow.
Bye.
Next week.
Tomorrow.
how y'all doing? Young activists back here with another video. So today, we're gonna be talking about suicide in the Black and Hispanic community. So stereotypically and traditionally, we usually target suicide towards white or Caucasian kids. But believe it or not, it's skyrocketing in percentages with Black boys and Black girls. Since 2017, Black boys have skyrocketed in percentage of suicide rates to 60%. And for Black girls, over 182%. And we have plenty of examples of people in the music industry doing the same thing. We have examples like Juice WRLD, XXXTentacion, and Lil Peep, who are promoting drug use and suicide to our kids all the time, and they're being influenced by it on the daily. Not only that, you see it on social media with a lot of people flexing their money, getting tattoos on their face, a lot of insecurities with women not loving their natural hair, how they look. And so a lot of these people feel like they can never accomplish these goals in which the people they look up to on the internet is doing, so they end up taking their lives out. But at the end of the day, what we have to realize is we have to figure out better ways to be able to control our emotions, figure out people on who to talk to before it ends up ending our lives. Because we have to understand depression is real. I struggle with it and many others do. And of course we think about suicide. But if we're not able to properly communicate those issues to somebody, it can end up fatal. But hey, that's another jolting experience for young activists. Make sure you like and follow.
Youdia.